New technology is really cool. AI is really cool. But have you heard of old technology? Granted, old technology means like 3 or 4 years ago. But did you know that you can set your whole company to use the same document templates, the same fonts, the same color scheme for all documents created in Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, and you can do it all from one place without touching any end user computers? Well, you can, and you have been able to for a few years now, and I am going to show you how to do it. Okay, let's jump right into the demo. This is the terrifying part for me because these setup demos, if something goes wrong, we're kind of lost. But what we're going to do here is very cool. This is the default experience that a company would get. I've set up a new company in Microsoft 365 called Couch Potato Software. They make an app that flicks your phone like this so you don't have to do that. And by default, the users in this company would see this when they clicked new in Microsoft Word. This is the default Microsoft templates that are built into Office that you can use to create documents. But what we'd like to do is make it so that there's a Couch Potato Software template letterhead that everybody could use to write letters here. Okay, so let's create a new site here, and we're going to create a communication site. Standard communication. And this is going to use this template here. Let's call it CPS branding. And yeah, great. So this is holds document and asset templates. Next. Perfect. Now we're going to create a new document library and we're going to call it document templates. Don't need to show it in site navigation. That just means the bar at the very top there. We actually want to manage the permissions here a little bit. So let's go into the site permissions. Let's go advanced permissions here. So we want branding members to have just read access because we're going to create templates here. We don't want anybody to be able to edit them. We only want ourselves to be able to edit them. If you're in an organization, you might have your IT department and your administrators, maybe your branding people specifically that were owners of this site, and they would be able to make changes, but only them. So let's do that. And by doing it at the site level, it means that all the permissions are going to go down to the document libraries we're creating. And remember, this is just a container site. This is not something we're ever going to need to browse back to. So let's go back to, so this document templates. Now, if we look at the library settings here, we want to do two things. So we're going to check that versioning is enabled, meaning if I create a new version of a document template, I can always roll back to the last one. And sure enough, that is enabled. And then we're also going to look at the permissions for this library just to make sure that, yeah, perfect here. So branding members can read and branding owners can edit. Perfect. And then we're going to go back to the home here and we're going to create another document library. We could do this later, but we'll just do it now. We'll call it assets. And again, we don't need it in site navigation. Great. And now let's go here and we're going to view site contents here. And in document templates, I've already got some templates I've created for our company. I'm going to upload a letterhead document. Now you'll notice this is a Word template. This is a docx file, not a docx file. It's really important. And I've also got a PowerPoint template, which is a potx as opposed to a pocx. Or PPTX rather. And so we're going to upload these. Great. And then let's go back to our site here and site contents. And we're going to go to assets and I'm going to upload some logos. So let's go files and I have a small and a larger version of the logo. Great. So now that we've done that, we're going to flip over This is where you might need your administrator, your Microsoft 365 administrator. We're going to flip over here and we're going to set up what's called the brand center here. So we've got, we're going to click brand center and we're going to go, this is sites. Let's just double check that we have the site. So this is called CPS branding here. So this is the site that we want to make our brand center. So it's CPS branding. CPS branding. Well, that's a bummer. So I think what's happened here is that because I've already applied some customizations to at the admin level to the color of the SharePoint site, I didn't do for the demo purposes, I wanted to have a kind of a nice color. I think what's happened is that it's already applied some kind of brand center assets to the entire SharePoint environment, which means that this is going to actually fail because this folder is already designated as having some of those features. This site, rather, is already designated having some of those features. So Brand Center is not going to let me use it. So you'll see what it's doing is it's actually suggesting that I change, and I'm going to have another site be created. That's okay. That's okay. Let's do that. So we're going to allow that to happen. We're going to allow it to create, even though that kind of negates some of the work that we just did. You might run into that same issue, so it's not a bad thing. So let's go to Brand Center again. I know we've kind of went through this already, but we're going to just edit site access here. Great. So now we're going to if we look at the site contents here, you'll see we don't have our two folders that we'd already created. What we might be able to do is actually move those across, but I think it's just easier to recreate. So we'll go new. Okay, with all of that done, now we wait. Now, this can take up to 24 hours as far as Microsoft is concerned. But what should be happening in the background is because we've uploaded template files in the Brand Center document library, so we've set the permissions correctly, we're now just going to wait a little bit, and then we'll come back into Microsoft Word and Microsoft PowerPoint, and I'll show you how those things work. Now, if you're unlucky like me and the demo gods don't behave, then you might have to get your administrator to go into the PowerShell access for your environment and run a pretty simple little command here to set the document library as an organizational asset template. So this is what I'm doing here. I waited the couple days and nothing happened, and then I just had to go back and do all this work in the background. And here's the final result. You can see we've got a new section in PowerPoint here called Couch Potato Software, and in there you can see our document template that we uploaded to SharePoint, and any user that clicks it can get the start of the Couch Potato Software template that we want. So at the end of the day, a very cool result. The demo gods, as usual, cursed me, and so as I was going through the demo, it didn't work exactly as I had planned. If it works for you, which Microsoft says it should, great. If not, and you have to run that PowerShell script, I've gone ahead and put that in the description so that you can copy and paste and just change it to fit your needs. I would also be remiss if I didn't say, if you're one of our clients, just ask us, we'll help you out in this ever-changing IT landscape. Be adaptive. We'll see you next time.